Welcome to day 4 in our week of Webisodes first look. And a little tidbit. I understand that Bonnie from Art Impressions was pretty much locked up for a little while trying to get new things done. Well, perhaps that's an overstatement, but not by much.
And what she came up with was this ingenious idea of Circlet mini trifolds.
Exactly.
You have to see it to appreciate it, but it involves stamps and cutting dies.
Right, so you're going to love it.
Come play with
us. Now, this is just one of the many ingenious things that Bonnie has come up with. These are Circlet mini trifolds.
They are. They come with 3 stamps. Each one of these sets comes with 3 stamps and a different number of cutting dies for each one of them.
Okay, so these are the stamps for this little cabin.
Right.
And these are the cutting dies.
And it's going to create 3 separate little scenes, which will then stack up and layer to make one scene all together.
And we have 3 of them right here, the lighthouse, the cottage, and the cabin. There's also a birthday one, but it's going to come a little bit later being in stock. So
you really have to see it to understand how this works.
Okay, so whoops.
I'll take that with it.
So here is the lighthouse. So there's number 1, and I'm going to lift it. And there's number 2.
You can see through 2.
And there's the last
number
one.
3.
Now each of them create a full scene.
Right.
But when they're layered, you kind of get not only the 3D, but you get all of that involved detail.
So let me show you just a little bit. So I want to show you some of the stamped pieces. So here's one, here's the first stamp, and then here's the cutting die that I have taped in place because I know once I color this in, or even before I color it in, I can go ahead and cut out this opening because this opening is going to show through to this stamp. And this stamp, I went ahead and stamped it. You can color it, and then you add the little cutting dies. And I tape them all in place, and this is the rays for that, for the light coming out of the lighthouse. So you can tape them all in place, go ahead and run it through, and then let's just show where it cuts. It cuts right through those open areas.
Right.
So that's really great. So all you have to do now is place them on your card, and I will mention that you'll place them on your card before you die cut that. I'll show you that in just a second. But as far as coloring these in, I'm using the Misty, and I've got that stamp for the 3rd one, and Debbie used actually the Marvy pens.
La Plume pens?
The La Plume pens to color these in, so it's a whole set of them that come together. And the way to do that is first we stamped it in brown to get that outline, and then we started coloring directly onto the stamp to have it transfer over. Actually, Debbie said she first did a little bit onto here, and then she was able to use a paintbrush to pick that up and transfer it to the stamp. That's one way to do it, and you can blend it that way. I'm going to go ahead and do it directly onto the stamp. So I've got it on here.
And you're kind of holding it on its side, not straight up and down. Right.
And wherever you want the little waves to be, I'm just going to go back and forth like that. And then right before I stamp it, I'm going to breathe on it a little bit to make sure that it's wet. Just a little bit, and then I stamp over, and that transfers, and you just do that a little bit at a time, adding the colors in there, and then again you can pick up the colors afterwards from here with a paintbrush to blend those a little more.
You could just color directly onto the paper.
It's a pretty solid color that way. I kind of like the idea of using water to balance it out a little bit.
Especially when you're doing water.
Right. But once you're done, you've got all of those colored images, and like I said, then you add the die cuts. But Debbie did this while it was on the card so that you could see right through the card. So she created the TryFold card. And on the back of each one of these packages, you're going to get the instructions that tell you what size of card to make. Debbie went and followed those instructions. For this one in particular, the dimensions are in the instructions. She went ahead and folded it, and she covered each of those folds with paper before she attached her pieces. And then she attached her pieces. I think this was the second one.
Right.
So this is the second one, and it would go here before she die cut it. Now I'm going to back up just for a second, because the first one goes on that first panel. You're going to tape that in place and you're going to run it through your die cut machine. You're going to make sure that this is fully open when you do that. Once you've done that, then you've got this opening here so you can see where to place the second one with all of the little cutting dies. You're going to line it up and then you're going to open it up and die cut that one. And then all you have to do is place your final image on the inside and you have them all lined up. I do want to mention that circle that you're seeing on the outside, Debbie used our circles and scallops cutting dies to cut that circle.
That 8 circles and scallops,
right? The 8 circles and scallops. So you don't have to cut this as a circle. It could be a square, however you do on the outside. The cutting dies within will not cut out the entire circle for you.
Yeah, they cut out the interior places.
That's
there
right.
There you go. Very, very pretty.
So pretty.
And let's see.
It's just a really cute idea.
Wishing you strength for today, wishing you hope for tomorrow. That's really nice. And then adding the dazzles for thinking of you, friend. Very nice. Okay, so that's the lighthouse.
Okay.
And nice also, just any of these could be masculine or feminine.
That's right.
That's really nice.
That's right. You can just change up the colors a little bit, and there you go.
Now we're getting to the cottage, and this has become a window card using the design toolkit.
Right, and we've got the paper painting papers on there. And again, she's got that where she placed it in her card after she put her papers in place before she did the die cutting so that she could see all the way through.
So you see that little birdhouse on the fence, and then we see our cottage. And then, so I'm going to bring this up. This is a TryFold going a little different direction, and then
you've got,
yes, just be very, very sweet.
What's it say?
This coming year, may you be blessed with all that makes you happy. Happiest.
Nice.
So very pretty.
That is so cute.
Yeah.
So an adorable look. So this is a longer card, but it still has the same fold dimensions that is mentioned in the instructions. You have to have these fold dimensions, which I think it ends up being a 3 5/8 inch wide card this way to make the folds work correctly.
And you can make it wider as you like.
Right.
So same idea. I do like that even as you're revealing the inside areas, that they're each different. And that's really a fun thing with the tree and the little girl swinging.
It's kind of a fun surprise.
Yeah.
That's so
Very
fun.
nice.
Hey, I also want to mention, I was thinking about these cutting dies, and you've probably seen these before, but I will let you know. You do have to snip these apart with wire cutters. They come attached like that. You just snip those little legs apart so that you can use them individually.
So we've seen a little rectangular card and then a long one. Now this is one that Kate and Bonnie gave me at the trade show. They had an extra one. Are you watching?
Okay.
Okay, so this is going to spiral up.
Oh, how fun.
Very fun. Look at that.
That is just really cute.
And
now,
there's just a mini Brad in 2 places holding it.
Now I love that. You don't have to worry about where to put these on your card. You just do them individually and attach them all at or at least the top 2 with the Brad right there, and then the second, the middle, and the last one.
So you can see that cabin, and we've got that fence, and then we've got the cabin, and then on the inside we've got just a really pretty scene. May simple joys fill your day. May wonderful memories come your way.
That's really sweet. I really love that one. And this is something that is not, the directions for this will not be on the gallery.
Right.
But you can see the construction, a Brad down here at the bottom between the first 2, and a Brad here up at the top between the second, the middle one and the last one again. So
and
just
then,
link
so
them
those,
together.
Yeah, those are linked together, and then the bottom piece is glued to the front of the card. So, and I do like the fact that this is pretty simple coloring. I mean, you're just doing little bits, and it just has such a really
just
nice,
with those
nice
markers.
look.
And Bonnie is really good at that. In fact, if you check out some of our Art Impressions webisodes, you can see her doing watercoloring and really using those pens to full effect.
And speaking of the previous ones, I remember asking Kate why they were called TRY folds, and she said, well, because you should try the folds.
Okay.
Okay, we're leaving you with that. Kate said it.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, please join us
our last day
for the
in our
grand
week of
finale.
Webisodes.